Boys, it is official. Shedeur Sanders will be given his first NFL start against the Raiders this Sunday. If you guys do enjoy the video, leave a like, subscribe. I'll catch you next time. Peace. It's officially Shedeur Sanders time. I called it out a couple weeks ago saying that once they traded Joe Flacco, it was inevitable that Shedeur Sanders was going to get his opportunity to start. And Dillon Gabriel is still in concussion protocol. He hasn't cleared it yet, so Kevin Stefanski announced today that Shedeur will get his first official start against the Raiders. So, I mean, he came in the second half against the Ravens last game, and it wasn't pretty. It wasn't a great game for him. Let me see if I can find the stats real quick. So there it was, 4 for 16, 25% completion percentage. His team did have the lead. He had 47 total passing yards. He threw a pick. He was sacked 2 times. He had a fumble and 1 grounding. And I think that let's just call a spade here. He didn't play great. It kind of proved the point as to why nobody drafted the kid as high as everybody thought he was going to go. They had him going, the second pick, the third pick, and we saw exactly why he wasn't that dude. You have to cut him some slack a little bit just because of how good the Ravens defense and how healthy they're getting, right? I think that it's pretty clear and evident that, hey, the Ravens defense took advantage of this kid and him being a rookie, him not understanding he hasn't had those first team reps. He doesn't know anybody on that team, how they run a route, what that looks like, no communication from them. But like I said, everybody, like the haters kind of came out and said, like, you know what, you see that? You see that? That's why nobody drafted him. And to be fair, like, it's true, bro. Like, dude right now does not look like a starting quarterback for an NFL team. He looks like a backup. I mean, it's really interesting because Dillon Gabriel isn't that good either. And you see the success that Joe Flacco's having with the Bengals. But then not arguably, they have a better offense, more offensive weapons. But I think that the maturity of Joe Flacco, you're seeing a lot of now older quarterbacks kind of hitting this stride of, I know every single defense. I know how to study film. The game is much more easier for me to see. And with these rookies, they're coming out, they're playing for terrible organizations such as the Browns. And they're having a hard time adjusting. They're not sure where to go with the ball. They're overthrowing everybody. And they feel like they all continuously have to make a play. You see a lot of times with Dillon Gabriel, you see him overthrowing people that are wide open. But there are glaring signs for me in terms of, I don't think this kid's ready. This is after the game, 40 seconds left on the clock. The game pretty much over. And Shedeur Sanders is on the bench. He has his head down. He's looking depressed. And I'm sorry, I have never seen this from a quarterback. You see it a lot with receivers. The most viral one is like CeeDee Lamb, Deebo Samuel after losing big games. But never quarterbacks. You never see Joe Burrow like that. You never see Matthew Stafford or Patrick Mahomes. Nobody like that, right? Never a quarterback. It's always a receiver. So the kind of immaturity level is still there. He obviously wants to succeed, right? The kid obviously wants to be a starting quarterback. He wants to be the limelight, the star player. He wants to get the criticism. He also wants to get the glory, right? This was the play that put Dillon Gabriel into concussion protocol. He's doing a read right here. And if you see, there's this defensive edge right here. He's reading, like he's in the backfield. He sees this whole play coming out. And he kind of gives a fake to Quinshon Judkins. This guy doesn't bite at all. He doesn't buy it. Dillon ultimately keeps it. Quinshon doesn't do a great job of hiding the ball. Like, this guy, obviously number 41, is looking right at the ball, right? So this play fools nobody. The play gets blown up at the line of scrimmage. That put him in concussion protocol. That is ultimately when Shedeur Sanders came on. And obviously you could tell they have a 10-13 lead. And speaking of Quinshon Judkins, these teams, the Browns especially, they have a good spine. they just can't seem to get the quarterback right? And you saw it with Baker Mayfield, you saw it with Deshaun Watson, and all these dudes, and they don't get it. They're not clicking. I mean, it's especially hard to find a quarterback in the National Football League that is a proven starter. Sometimes it takes time for these guys to get ready and prepared. But having a first or I think he was drafted third round, having their drafting a running back that high and not utilizing him at all is interesting, especially because when you're a rookie quarterback, you should be handing the ball off a lot of times. And it's interesting that they're not handing the ball off. They're passing the ball more than they're running the ball. And, I always think of let's say Patrick Mahomes goes out for a couple plays, maybe a series, right? Maybe a drive or two. Or actually, when Jackson Dart went out one game, he went out for a series. That was the whole Brian Dable in the tent, Cam Scatterbo in the tent. And Russell Wilson went out there, and Russell Wilson handed the ball off 3 times, and they kicked the punt. That is what a backup quarterback should be doing. That is their whole job, right? Hand the ball off. Hopefully, we get a first down or 2. And that doesn't seem to be the game plan for the Browns. You can see right here, Quinshawn is not getting the volume that everybody expected. First game he had 10 carries, 18 carries, 20, 21, 23, 12, 25, 22. And the dude only has 5 touchdowns. So that's every single game, a team is going to be pretty much at anywhere between the 1 and the 5 yard line at least once. And if you're not handing the ball off in those situations, what are you doing? Especially with the guy as good as Judkins is. And Judkins is obviously a hot fantasy player. A lot of people look at the numbers and they say, look, there is no RB2. Quinshot Judkins gets every single opportunity, but the opportunities are just bad. They're not like I said, 10 to 15 carries, it's not good. It's not good enough. He should 100% be getting 16, 17, 18 plus carries. That is just the bare minimum. Every single game he should have at least 16 carries. If nobody's competing with him, he might be closer to that 20 mark, right? And obviously he's not averaging many yards. 3, 4, 5, 6, 5. I mean, the numbers aren't great, but I mean, utilize him, use him. There's no RB2. Cool. Here, Judkins carried the ball 100 times. I don't give a shit. But they're not doing that. They're making the quarterback's job even harder. 2 rookie quarterbacks, and their job is that much harder, right? Because they're not running the ball. Obviously, the Browns have one of the best defensive players. Well, I would probably say the best defensive player. Myles Garrett. I mean, they paid him a huge contract. He's voiced his frustration multiple times in terms of bro, we're not winning games. I'm doing everything in my power to win games, and we're not doing that. And he's, like I said, he's voiced his frustration multiple times. And when you have a guy putting up numbers like this, like I said, right here, last 6 seasons, he had 12, 16, 16, 14, 14, 13 this year. And the season's not even close to being done, man. We got, 6, 7 more games left. And dude's on fire. So it's interesting that, you have such a defensive player. Obviously, the D-line is one of the most important positions to have on defense. It's always D-line, and then maybe your corners and your safeties. But other than that, if you dominate the line of scrimmage with your defensive players, you're more than likely going to win the game. That's something that the Rams do really well. The Chiefs do really well. I mean, the Texans have one of the best defenses, and they have a great D-line as well. But, I mean, it's interesting. The Browns are such an interesting team. But Shedeur Sanders is going to get his first start. It is coming against the Raiders. So I do think that he's going to have a decent game. I think he'll throw for 2 touchdowns. He might run one in. But like I said, it's the Raiders. It's not an impressive thing to do, right? It's if you're playing against the Raiders and you have a good game, you should have done that. You should be doing that. The Raiders are awful. This is going to be a mid-game, a mid-off, but I think that If Shedeur doesn't do well against the Raiders, I would be so done with him. I'd be like, all right, bro, we just chalk this one up. Call it a day, brother. Go somewhere else. I think that if he doesn't take Dillon Gabriel's job this week, he's never going to take it from anybody because Dillon Gabriel is awful. He's been awful. He's going to stay awful. Dude's not good. He's short. He overthrows everybody. He doesn't utilize his players. I think that you have guys like Jerry Jeudy. You have guys like Njoku. You have Harold Fannin, the rookie as well. He's very good. Quinshot Judkins in the backfield. Your O-line isn't great, but your D-line is great. So you're going to get opportunities because the defense is giving you the ball back so many times, but you're not winning games. So then something's wrong. And obviously it's the quarterback play. But let me know what you guys think about Shedeur's first game and how he's going to do in his first starting game. If you guys did enjoy the video, leave a like, subscribe. I'll catch you next time. Peace.